profile 1, that's me. I am a regular private company employee and a first-time Japan visa applicant. Widowed housewife and a former Japan OFW. Always remember and i-reiterate ko lang na please book at your own risk. So malalaman nyo if kailan na-issue yung birth certificate nyo. Konnichiwa everyone! I am back again with another video at nakita nyo naman sa ating title, tutulungan ko kayo kung paano kayo mag-apply ng Japan visa dahil nga we were granted by the embassy with a visa. Kaya naman if you wanna know the process, please keep on watching. So kami pala ay nag-apply personally sa Universal Holiday Incorporated sa Dusit Thani, Makati. Tapos we submitted our application as a group. So that was me, my mom, and my boyfriend. Although si mother could not be physically present at that moment to submit her application, we just provided an authorization letter which I will link down below in case you don't have a format yet so that I can submit her applications on her behalf. Then a short backstory lang din sa mga applicants before we proceed with the requirements. Okay, so profile 1, that's me. I am a regular private company employee and a first-time Japan visa applicant. So I also have a travel history. And then profile 2, si Ryan, which is my boyfriend. He's also a 7-year regular private company employee and a third-time applicant. So the first time was work-related pero yung visa niya nag-fall pa rin under tourist visa. And then the second time was for vacation, although he was granted with a single entry. Unfortunately, he was not able to use it kasi nagkasal siya. And then, this is the third time. And then, for vacation din yung kanyang application. So, he also has a travel history. And then, for profile 3, that's my mom. She is a widowed housewife and a former Japan OFW nung dalaga pa siya. This time, she applied as a married person and her only travel history was Japan nung nag-work siya. Yung application fee pala is 1,200 pesos for single entry visa, meaning once ka lang pwedeng pumasok sa Japan, and then 1,500 pesos for multiple entry, meaning several times ka pwedeng pumasok ng Japan, depende yon sa ibibigay sa inyo kung how many years. So in our case, we applied for a multiple entry pero single entry yung binigay sa amin. But still, diba, thankful pa rin tayo kesa sa wala. Alam nyo kung bakit? Kasi, nag-book na kami ng flight. Nag-book na kami ng flight bago pa kami mag-apply. Pero, wag nyong gagayahin yun kasi always remember na apply for a visa first before booking your flight tickets. Actually, common misconception to ng mga tao na kapag mag-a-apply daw ng visa, mas maganda ipakita yung flight itinerary kasi daw more chances na ma-approve yung visa dahil nga may ticket na. Pero that's not the case. Hindi po ganun. Kasi pag pinasa nyo yun sa agency, most likely, papatanggal din po yan sa inyo. Pero we understand naman na maraming seat sale, kaya tsaka nagtitipid din, budget traveler, so napapabook din talaga tayo agad ng ticket. Pero always remember and i-reiterate ko lang na please book at your own risk. Now, proceed naman tayo with the step-by-step procedure. Again, we submitted our application sa UHI sa Dusit Thani, Makati, tapat ng SM Makati, last December 2 ng 12 noon. Open pala si UHI ng Mondays to Fridays and nag-accept sila ng applicants from 9 a.m. and then yung cut-off ng application is 3 p.m. Although, if you go beyond the 3 p.m., let's say nakuha mo yung may nakuha number and then beyond 3 p.m. na, i-accept na i-finish nila lahat ng applicants na yun. Basta ang cut-off is 3 p.m. So, we went there again ng 12 noon and then bibigyan kayo ng guard ng number. And then, nagulat kami kasi nung binigyan kami ng number ng guard, 10:58. Tapos yung sinaserve pa lang is 10:37. So sabi ni Kuya Guard, pagka mag-apply kayo ng personally, avoid Mondays and Fridays kasi close UHI ng weekends. And then, dumog talaga yung tao. So, nag-joke pa si Kuya. Sabi niya na baka 5 p.m. pa daw kami ma-serve. Pero hindi siya nagjo-joke. Nag-antay talaga kami doon. 5 p.m. talaga kami na-serve I mean 5 p.m. nung naging turn namin. So yun, advice lang na avoid Mondays and Fridays. And also because I think it's peak season, December din kasi maraming nag-a-apply, and then alam naman natin na ang Japan is vacation capital ng mga Pinoy kapag December. For the requirements pala, lahat ng link ilalagay ko below, even yung link ng application form, yung sample itinerary namin, authorization letter, what else? Basta lahat ng needed na requirements, even email ng UHI, ilalagay ko below kasi if you have questions, they will answer agad. So, let's proceed with the requirement. First requirement, and ang pinaka-importante, is yung valid Philippine passport and dapat signed. So, sa Philippine passport, yung katabi ng bio page, kailangan may signature yon, and then make sure na hindi pa-expire yung passport nyo. And then dapat at least 6 months before the expiry, yun lang yung allowable na pwede kayong mag-apply ng visa. Kasi kung pa-expire na yan, baka magka-problem din kayo sa airport or sa immigration. Number 2 is yung duly accomplished visa application form. So there pwedeng dalawang kind, handwritten or typewritten. But in our case, we submitted it typewritten para mas mukhang malinis. And then also take note na yung application form na ita-download nyo sa website ng mga accredited agencies is latest. Kasi meron kaming na-encounter, nakasabay naming nag-apply, pinaulit sa kanya yung application form. So, si ate girl, she had to write sa bago application form, 'di ba? So, gusto mo pagpupunta ka doon or magsasubmit ka ng application mo, smooth process na, smooth sailing na. So, always make sure na updated and latest. So, makikita nyo naman yan sa mga accredited agencies sa website na ay updated naman yun all the time. So, yun yung i-download nyo. And then next is your photo. Your most updated photo taken within the last 6 months. So, yung size na needed is 45 by 35 millimeters long, white background. And then, take note, before nyo idikit yung picture sa application form, you need to write your complete name and birthday at the back bago nyo i-paste, not tape, paste on the application form. Take note din na if you're wearing glasses, papatanggal yan sa inyo kapag nagpa-picture kayo sa studio. So, kahit saan namang photo studio, basta sabihin nyo lang Japan visa, or if hindi nila alam yung dimensions, you can provide, sabihin nyo na 45 by 35 and white background po yung kailangan ko. Next is your PSA issued birth certificate, valid are issued within 1 year. So, malalaman nyo if kailan na-issue yung birth certificate nyo dun sa barcode found at the lower left ng birth certificate. So, in my case, kinuha ko yung akin last November 5 of 2024. So, yung nakalagay dyan is 11/05/2024. And then, if second-time applicant ka na, you don't need to submit a copy of your birth certificate kasi meron ng copy niyan si embassy. And then, for those who are married, you need to submit a PSA marriage certificate issued within 1 year. And then, again, same with the birth certificate, malalaman nyo yung validity or yung date issued dyan dun sa barcode at the lower left. Next is your bank certificate with inclusion of ADB for the last 6 months. So, ano nga ba yung ADB? So, ADB is your average daily balance or yung total laman ng bank account mo per day. So, the more na magstay yung pera mo sa bangko, mas tataas yung ADB mo dahil walang movement or galaw yung pera mo. Pero, hindi rin advisable na maglalagay ka ng pera ng isang bagsakan tapos sabay kukuha ka ng bank certificate kasi sketchy or red flag yan sa kanila. And then, for the next requirement, this is related also, somewhat related also to your bank certificate, this is your itinerary or daily schedule in Japan. So flashed on the screen is yung sample itinerary na sinubmit namin sa agency. So dito, makikita nyo, dineclare namin na 4 days kaming magsistay. So ano bang connect nito sa ADB or bank certificate? So for us, we made sure to allot at least 10,000 pesos per day maximum, and this is for us only, in our opinion, kasi titingnan nila dito yung financial capacity mo. So, wag gagawa ng itinerary na for, let's say for example, 10 days, tapos yung ADB mo or average daily balance mo maliit lang, kasi dapat ibabangga mo lagi yung laman ng bank account mo sa itinerary mo and sa types ng itinerary na gagawin nyo. Okay? Next is your latest ITR or income tax return. So this must include your gross income and must be signed by the employee and the employer. And then if you do not have an ITR, you need to present a cover letter explaining why you do not have an ITR. So in our case, matagal naman na kaming employed, so annually, nakaka-receive naman kami ng ITR. Next, we submitted our COE or Certificate of Employment issued by the company, syempre. And this must indicate the period of employment, salary, and your position. Remember pala, yung COE is valid lang for 3 months. And then, if you do not have a COE, you need again to present a cover letter explaining why you do not have one. Next is yung multiple entry form. So, this one is optional. We just tried if mabibigyan kami. So, sa form, checkan nyo lang kung saan kayo nagfo-fall. In our case, checkan namin yung who has sufficient financial capacity and then a private enterprise listed on a stock exchange, either PSE or foreign stock exchange. And yung company namin, nagfo-fall siya or listed siya sa London Stock Exchange. Kaya yun yung checkan namin. Then, lastly, nilagay namin sa baba yung reason why you need to apply for a multiple entry visa. So ako, personally, nilagay ko ay I want to immerse myself in Japan's culture through various seasons across different prefectures. Pero ito, kayo bahala kung anong gusto nyo ilagay. Yun na yung reason ko, pero fortunately hindi tayo nabigyan, siguro dahil factor din na first time applicant. So, and I don't know, it's a case to case basis, so wala naman mawawala if magta-try din kayo. Next and lastly, we submitted our PRC ID or Professional Regulatory Commissions ID. So ito, nakikita lang namin sa iba na kapag nag-submit daw ng copy ng PRC ID is mas malaki yung chance na ma-approve for a multiple entry. Although there are agencies na hindi to pinapasubmit and then hindi rin kasi to part ng requirement, yung amin, surprisingly, kinuha siya. Pero sadly, hindi naman din kami na-approve. So, it's a case-to-case basis. So, if ever may mga nababasa kayong stories na same case as us, na, tapos nakakuha ng ME, so, iba-iba din per person, iba-iba rin yung nag-check. So, depende talaga. So, itong mga sinubmit or nabanggit ko, ito yung usual na sinasubmit ng employed first-time applicants. For my boyfriend's case, since third time niya nang nag-apply, hindi na siya nag-submit ng birth certificate. So, we just submitted the same document, same as me. Meron lang siyang explanation letter why he was not able to use his Japan visa for the second time. So again, remind ko lang for second time applicants, you don't need to submit your birth certificate and your marriage certificate in case you are married. So for my mom who is a widowed housewife, she submitted the following requirements. Number 1 again, her passport, valid passport, and then number 2 is application form with picture. Dun sa part sa application form, she did not declare her previous stays in Japan kasi as mentioned kanina, she was a former OFW of Japan when she was single. So, yun sa part ng application form na dates and durations of previous stays in Japan, sinabi ng agency na hindi na lang i-declare kasi hindi na rin niya maalala and wala na ring merit or documents na nagpapatunay na nagstay siya or nagtrabaho siya doon kasi 1990s pa yun. So, masyado nang matagal. And wala na rin yung passport and yung visa niya. Next, she submitted her PSA issued birth certificate and marriage certificate. And then next is itinerary. So, yung itinerary na ginamit ko and ginamit ni Rai, yun na rin yung ginamit namin sa kanya. So pare-parehas kami kasi nga nag-apply kami as a group. So ang thinking is as a group kami aalis. Kaya pare-parehas kami ng itinerary. Next, she submitted a bank certificate. So, dalawang bangko yung sinubmit namin sa kanya. And then, next, we submitted her bank statement. So, bakit bank statement? Hindi naman to part ng requirement. Bank certificate lang. Sinubmit namin siya kasi, again, housewife siya. She has no job and her only means to support herself or her daily life is through a pension. So, we needed to show all the transactions for the past 6 months ng bank niya na merong pumapasok na pension sa account niya. So, dalawa yung sinabit namin. Again, two bank certificates and then one bank statement. Next is an explanation letter why she has no ITR. Kasi syempre, she's a housewife, so wala talaga siyang ITR na may ipe-present. So, nag-explain lang ako doon kung paano siya kumukuha ng pera, and that is through her pension. Lastly, sinubmit or rather, accidentally na-submit namin yung national ID copy niya. Actually, dito hindi ko alam kung bakit kinuha ng agency. Kasi yung purpose ko lang dito, kung bakit ko siya in-attach sa requirements is dun sa authorization letter nga kung bakit hindi siya makakasubmit personally. Naka-attach yun parehas. Pero nagulat ako na sinama ni Kuya sa ipapasang requirements sa embassy. So yun, I just want to be transparent sa inyo na nagulat na submit siya. By the way, all documents should be submitted in A4 size only. Siyempre, excluded na dyan yung mga government-issued certificates like birth certificate, marriage certificate, and then yung mga bank-issued documents also. Some kasi are providing in long and in short. So, maliban dun sa mga yon, all documents should be in A4 size, okay? Pati yung mga explanation letter, authorization letter, application form, most importantly, lahat dapat A4. And that's it. Madali lang actually mag-apply ng Japan visa. The timeline naman, since we submitted ng peak season, so December 2, sinubmit namin yung aming application personally, and then December 3, UHI texted and emailed me na it was already lodged at the embassy. And then December 10, I called UHI if ano na yung status ng application, pero sabi nila naka-lodge pa rin daw sa embassy. Pero that same day, mga 11 p.m., nag-text and email si UHI na pwede ko na raw i-pick up yung passports. And then one more thing, nung nagpasa kami last December 2, inas kami if ipapadeliver or isi-self-collect namin yung passports. Pero syempre, kapag delivery, may additional bayad. And since malapit naman kami sa UHI, we chose to collect na lang it personally. So upon claiming, pinakita namin yung receipt nung pinagbayaran namin and then a valid ID. For my mom who could not be physically present, ag-provide na naman ulit ako ng authorization letter. To be honest, kinabahan ako ng slide kasi may ticket na kami. Pero yun nga, nung kinukuha na ni Kuya yung mga passport, una-una ko nakita, white yung color ng barcode kasi sa hindi nakakaalam, kapag ka nag-apply ka sa UHI lang ba yun? Sa lahat. Pag nag-apply ka sa lahat ng visa, dinidikitan nila ng barcode ng sarili nilang barcode sa likod. And then sa UHI, kapag binigyan ka ng visa, white yung color ng barcode. I mean, white background. Pero kapag denied ka, red. As in, bright red. So, nung nakita ko yun, sabi ko, hala, tatlong passport na magkakadikit. So, hala, white yung nasa likod. Ano kayang kulay nung dalawang nakaipit pa kasi sa amin yung tatlo eh. Pero, nung binukas na ni Kuya, nakabukas yung pagbigay sa amin, nakabukas dun sa page ng visa. So, nakabukas, sabi ko, thank you Lord. Approve. If meron naman kayong desired travel date, make sure lang to apply a month or at least 2 months before your intended travel date. Kasi for single entry visas, 3 months lang yung validity from the date issued ng visa. So in our case, a date issued is December 9 and valid siya until March 9. So, pasok na pasok siya dun sa binook namin, which is February 4 onwards. If may mga questions kayo, please comment them down below and I'm happy to answer all your queries. So, you can also message me on my Instagram account, Dan Villavieja. Of course, dahil meron na tayong visa and flight, isasama ko kayo sa ating bakasyon sa Japan. Kaya naman, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell para maging updated kayo sa ating mga bagong video. And please follow me on my social media accounts and you can message me anytime if meron kayong mga tanong. Again, this is Dan Villavieja giving you contents anything and everything under the sun. Thank you guys for watching. Bye!